Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, your lovely ray of sunshine. I'm sorry, let me get this off my head. I just shut down in the darkest damn parking lot in Louisiana, but it's okay, guys. I'm safe. I know what I'm doing. So let's move forward with what I want to post. And what I want to talk about is still my article, because all of you didn't get to see me live, and I want you to get the story. I want you to have the goop, right? So today I want to talk about percentages and what does it mean to be overrepresented in the system. Okay, and as you know, I have a vendetta against the foster care system, as I should. So percentages based on nationality for the foster care system in the year of 2024. What's my problem with the percentages, guys? First of all, they are not derived from an actual number. They give me these percentages, but not from an actual number. And this is according to DHS, okay? So these are the percentages: 21%, 2%, 1%, 23%, 8%, 44%, 1%. Overall, when you hear these percentages, it sounds like, hey, they're doing a damn good job. No. So the actual number that those would derive from would be the overall population of the foster care system in 2024. And that number is 390,000 kids were in the system in 2024. So I'm going to give you the real numbers of the percentages that break down into that 390,000. Okay, so here we go. So Hispanic or Latino, 21% equals 81,900. Non-Hispanic or labeled Indian, 2%. Sounds like a very low number, right? But the actual number is 7,800, right? 1% Asian, 3,900, right? 23% Melanated American, 89,700 children. 8% multi-race groups. I want you to understand what multi-race means. Multi-race means anything that is mixed, but not mixed with melanated American, because see, keep in mind, they have that 1%, they have that one drop rule, okay? So if you mix with melanated American on the birth certificate, them children, more than likely, most of the time, especially if the father is melanated, is labeled melanated, okay? 8%, that's what that was for. That number is 31,200. 44% is YT children, and that's 171,600. Now, by all rights, you would be right to want to believe that means that YT children are actually the ones who are overrepresented in the foster care system, since the number is so damn high, but it is wrong, okay? They are not overrepresented. I will explain. 1% is considered unknown. That's 3,900 kids. 51% of these children are boys. That's 198,900 kids. 49% are girls. It's 191,100 children. So I want you to understand that I can get percentages of nearly any question I ask as it pertains to the foster care system. I can get percentages, and I can break them down per nationality, the majority of my questions, okay? So moving forward, what does it mean to be overrepresented? What it means to be overrepresented is basically they take these numbers per capita. Per capita is what your population is per nationality based on overall population, and the actual damage is done to that population. So that's kind of what that is, okay? So I'm gonna break it down, okay? But first, let me start off saying that a direct quote from Department of Human Services, Washington, D.C., direct quote: while melanated children are overrepresented in foster care, yes, melanated children, this creates higher rates of missingness or difficulty in reunifications with families or adoption due to difficulty of locating these children. To be overrepresented in the foster care system also means that they're taking more children than they have homes for. The problem with that is that they don't have enough culturally appropriate homes for the children that they're removing from their homes. And also, according to Department of Human Services, Melanated American children and Native American children are overrepresented, but makes up a disproportionate number of missing kids. Melanated children and Native American children are most likely to be taken from their homes, get this, due to racial bias by caseworkers. It is the main factor. Who is actually making the decisions to take these children? That is very important. Now let's move forward with the overrepresentation numbers as it pertains to overall population. Okay, so in 2024 there were 10.1 melanated American children, 14% of America's children population. That's what they made up. And yet 89,700 children of their community was taken into foster care without proper housing. That's what it basically means to be overrepresented. Now, since melanated and white tea children are what makes up the overall most of the general population, I went to white tea children. White tea children in 2024 were 36.3 million. They made up 49.4% of the total child population. 44% of those children were taken, not of the actual overall population, but 44% of the foster care population of 390,000 were taken into foster care. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the population of white tea children were very saturated, whereas the melanated children was a very small number, but they're targeted more by the wrong kind of caseworkers. Okay, so here goes what my next topic is and why them being overrepresented is really an issue in the system. Okay, because keep in mind they have trouble locating their children. Help me understand that. Okay, so since they have trouble locating their children, I ask the right questions. Okay, so the right question would be, ask Google, you can do it, ask them how many, and you can say the black children, I just don't like to use that word, but how many melanated children in the foster care system were reported missing in 2024. And Google will send you to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids, and they will give you a report based on 2024's missing children for the foster care system. Okay, so the report that they gave me on that direct question, get this, pay attention, is while specific data on missing melanated American children within the foster care system is not readily available, these factors contribute to a higher risk of missingness or difficulty in locating these children within the system. Keep that in mind, within the system. So even though they're reported missing, they're still being looked for in the system. They might not even be there. Okay, there we go. All right, so when I asked the same question, but about white tea children, how many white tea children came up missing in the foster care system in 2024? Google sent me back to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and according to their report in 2024, white tea children from foster care, data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids indicate that in 2024, they assisted with 23,160 reports of missing children in the foster or estate care. Help me understand why they have a number for that, but they label it in a way in which it puts all of the children together. But when I ask about melanated American children, there is no fucking number. And they say within the system. The kids are missing within the system, as in, no, they're not really missing. We just replaced them or misplaced them, or we don't really know where they're at, for one. And then for two, like, help me understand, because like I can get a percentage on any question I ask as it pertains to the foster care system, and with that percentage I can get a direct number, but without a number or a percentage I can't get nothing. Why can they break down everything else as it pertains to the foster care system per nationality, per gender, per basically And based on types of abuse, different types of abuse, right? Like I have all of these numbers. And so I'm trying to understand why I have all of these damn numbers, but I can't get that one specific number that I'm looking for, and it's really bugging me. So help me understand that, guys. So I don't want to drag this video out any longer than I should have. I mean, I've already drug it out pretty long. But I want you to keep in mind, guys, I say this at the end of every video. I am you, you are me. Let's fix each other in unity, and remember to be the difference that makes the difference. Guess what the difference is, guys? All of our children combined are what makes up this country's future. This great country is going to have a future, and it has to be through all of our children combined. But we have to fix this situation where our babies are walking away. Notice that they don't really give a damn about their nationality. I don't really give a damn about their nationality. But what I want to know is how many of each nationality are disappearing, and why? Why are they so easily missed? Okay? Why are they labeled runaways when they can't be found? I was labeled a runaway. I was a runaway. I didn't want to be found, although I was 4 years later. Okay? But when they label these kids who are misplaced in the foster home, who they can't locate in the foster home, who's actually missing, when they label these kids as runaways, they don't look for them. Just because you label them a damn runaway doesn't mean that they don't need to be found. Not all of them are runaways. That's just impossible. I just don't see that. Okay? So, keep that in mind, guys. Help me out in these comments. I want to know what's up with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids. Why don't they have it broken down per nationality? They do it everywhere else in this country, but not there. Why not? Ask that question. Find that number. Help me. You all have a great night.